Hello, good evening. Welcome to the special show of the Federal on the Union Budget. The Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented her third budget today, and it was promised that it would be one of a kind a budget, one of a kind of budget. So, as I was saying in my opening remarks, that this was promised as a once in a lifetime kind of a budget, and an expectation was built up before the budget. There are certain things which have been addressed here as far as agriculture is concerned, infrastructure spending is concerned. You know, some broad things are there, some big announcements have been made. But as far as taxes are concerned, if we have to take direct taxes, there have been few things done on tax administration. So, Sridhar, as a tax expert, how do you see the budget?
Yeah, I mean, as a tax expert, I should say, as an Indian, I'm very, very happy. But then the work is now going to get lesser in terms of filings, etc. Litigation will be on the rise. As far as direct tax is concerned, the fact that a senior citizen who's got income only from pension and interest, they need not file returns. So they continue to be taxed, but then they need not file returns. And as also the assessment period earlier used to be like reopening of assessments earlier used to be done like 6 years. Now that's been brought down to 3 years. So that is a very good move. It makes things that much more, I think, robust. The department actually is well geared up. From what experience I have, it's very well geared up to meet up with this new challenge. So it's good, a very good one.
Okay. So you think relief to senior citizen is just a small tweak, administrative tweak, and as far as general tax administration is concerned, by reducing the reopening of assessment cases, it would make things simpler. Isn't that what government is expecting? But tell me frankly, how much, what percentage of taxpayers actually it would affect?
If you look at percentage of taxpayers, it will be minuscule. But the point is, earlier it was open. I mean, it was open for all to keep waiting 6 years or 10 years, as is the case now. But then the fact that it's a positive step as far as I'm concerned. 6 years used to be always a Damocles sword, a long period of time for which we used to wait. And invariably, as the sixth year is coming to a particular close, and you will see a whole lot of notices being sent. I guess 3 years makes the system that much more robust. So that's good. If you ask me as a percentage of taxpayer, it will be less than 5% who are going to get affected by this.
Yeah, so the for general taxpayers, probably the finance minister said that there would be more faceless assessment and appeal, basically depending more on IT infrastructure, going more electronic. Won't that simplify, at least for the taxpayer, things more? If not in real terms, at least as far as administratively, it should help.
See, faceless again it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes the department person needs to understand business before he or she passes an order, and the order being heard, if that is not being provided, not always is the correct order passed. That has been our experience. And now we have all last 6 months in our own, with my personal experience, we have clients who have got notices who are actually based out of getting notices from Mumbai, Delhi, Baroda. So that is started. And to explain what exactly the business is, that is something which cannot happen how much ever you try to over a mail. I mean, that is not happening. We are still not mature, in my opinion. It will take more time for us to mature to that.
Okay. What about this provision of tax audit, which itself has been exempted from 1 crore and the limit has been raised to 5 crores now?
Right. So, as I said, the number of assessees who are going to require to do a tax audit again come down because of that, because quite a few of them in this market will come out of that. That in that way is much lesser. So
okay,
they don't need
fine
to tax.
Yeah, I'll come back to more of that. Meanwhile, Senthil Nathan, if you can give your opening remarks on the budget today?
See, broadly, the finance minister has, given the budget in terms of for pro-growth. So they have announced various schemes and a lot of good macro things. So it's all about on the execution side now. But otherwise, the direction was right, and it's a wonderful budget. They have given it the best shot.
Yeah, but how do you see this for investors? In terms of as a fund manager, there's going to be heavy market borrowing. Is it going to, private investment? Will it be crowded out? That was one fear. But then in this pandemic, you also require to actually expand your deficit. Which is a real requirement. How do you think it will affect your funds?
Obviously, the government has proposed to borrow more, so it will increase the fiscal deficit. It's more on the capex front, and they are for the growth. So when the revenue comes back or growth comes back, they'll be easily be able to reduce the debt what they have done in the beginning of the term. So the same thing will happen. Now, what they have done broadly is they are borrowing it, but borrowing it for the growth, which is what more important, and which is what it has been liked by the market.
The market also, did the market like the fact that LIC IPO would be open this year? How do they react? But how do they see it? When the market was all slush with funds, there was so much liquidity available, internationally and here as well. Do you think the timing is right when probably the windows are about to close, or whenever, the expectations are all, you think there is still a lot of potential left in the market?
Yeah, globally, Flunch, there is a lot of liquidity because of all the countries are following lower interest rates and near to zero. So they don't have any investment avenues, and this is the right time to disinvest. And this way, the government can monetize the assets properly, and it will be used for our growth in a right way.
So you see it as a positive move, LIC IPO coming at this time. You think it will be helpful?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. How do you see the other measures in the financial sector, for instance, raising the equity, FDI limit for insurance?
2-3 things they have done for financial sector. One is insurance limit increase from 49 to 75% on the FDI front, which is a very good move, which will attract money from the foreigners on the insurance setup. But most of the guys will not be ready to lose the control, but still movement of 75% gives the positive direction, and India tells to the other world, or India tells to the world saying that we are for growth and we are here for business. So that gives the right direction and the right intention. And the second thing is ARC setup for the bad loans. So that the stressed assets will be moved to the bank, and banks will be free from all the stressed assets, and they can think of growth. So it goes hands on. On the other side, they are going to spend on the infra side, which the capex spend has been increased from 4.5 lakh crores to 5.5 lakh crores. So that way, bank will also be ready to lend when their stressed assets moves away from their balance sheet. So if we connect the dots, it's all towards pro-growth, and they want to give out a clear message that India means business, and we are for business. And that's where they have given other side also something like, say, tax audit reduction, and then something like, say, pre-filled tax returns. So just they want to show the direction that we are for business.
Okay. How would it affect, the overall budget would affect the general things as far as, debt funds are concerned, or ELSs are concerned, or REITs are concerned?
REIT, it is very good because there is they have given out, they have come out with a rule saying that dividend will not be taxed. Dividend will be taxed at the hands of the investor. So that way, REIT and InvITs are positive. And they are also given one more clause saying that dividends will not, based on the dividends, you don't need to pay advance tax. So you can wait for the dividends to come in, and then you can pay. The liability will be taken later. So those things are very positive.
Okay.
And mainly, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go on. Yeah.
And the markets was expecting something like, say, increase on the STT or long-term capital gains. But thankfully, finance minister has not done anything, and again indicating that they are for pro-growth. So
Also,
this budget is more about
wealth
pro-growth.
tax.
No wealth tax also.
Abolished.
Yeah. Were you expecting?
No.
No, I
No.
don't think.
So, but the thing is, within the budget, there is no new taxation or no new thing. But overall, if you see, they have added cess, which is outside the budget. I would now ask both of you. First, Senthil, you can go, then Sai can respond. How do you see this whole way of funding the budget through cess? How do you see this? Though the FM has given an explanation to that, how do you see that?
See, this cess is not, I mean, they have introduced cess, agri-infra cess on petrol, diesel, and then other products also, soybean oils. But at the same time, they have reduced the, excise duty, the customs duty on those products. So net, there will not be much effect, one. And the second thing is the funding of this growth is not through either significant increase on the tax revenue or revenue receipts. The main growth is going to come from the borrowings. Because that's where the increase is going to be, and that's where the growth will be funded by. So not by the tax revenue receipts. Even in the the budgeted estimates and the revised estimates, they have assumed a fair assumption of around some 14% growth on the tax revenue receipts. So which is a fair assumption, and they have not budgeted growth based on the tax receipts. So mainly on the borrowings only they are counting on the growth.
Yeah, in fact, I think just now in a briefing, the revenue officer said that this time they have actually underestimated revenue. Let me come back to that. Sai, what's your first reaction on the budget?
Okay, my first reaction was like, this is like one good budget, probably in a very long period of time. And of course, like the fellow panelist a few minutes back was also sharing about from a professional point of view. Yeah, it's not a very great thing. But as a citizen, definitely it is one of the best budgets I have personally seen. In fact, I was actually literally hoping and praying for a kind of counterintuitive measure whereby this government will actually go about reducing tax rates, despite the fact that the economy will not be doing really well in the next 12 months, recovery phase. And I thought like counter-cyclical, counterintuitive move of reducing tax rates, and in a way not increasing tax rates, despite the fact that we're looking at some serious capex to spur the entire growth, was the closest to what I was praying for, and that was I think is a brilliant move. At the end of the day, what this might eventually contribute to, like 1 year down the line, is slightly higher amount of inflation, which I'm pretty sure would eventually happen. People who are holding bank deposits might be happy that 1 year down the line the bank deposit rates are going to go up, which I think the other panelists can definitely comment upon, and a much more qualified person to comment. But again, first thoughts, brilliant, counterintuitive, should definitely spur growth. And not touching the basic taxes was pretty much great. And all these senior citizens 75 plus are all like feel good tidbits. Probably it is going to help save whatever 20,000 30,000 people or less than that one at the end of the day. But I think you have to like look at the overall thing. This is like one of the best budget you have seen, and lots and lots of activities have been simplified procedurally. This could reduce, kind of compliance cost that is becoming pretty heavy. That's the common refrain from a lot of small businesses. Basically, we keep on getting that one. No, why don't you reduce this invoice? Why are you charging more, etc. kind of thing and all. So with less amount of scope, obviously the compliance cost is going to go down. Yeah, that's broadly it. I think the direction is fantastic. I don't think I've seen anything like this before.
She mentioned GST in the passing. Of course, it's not supposed to be part of the budget. It will be decided in the council. Now, but are you, looking at the figures that has crossed 1 lakh crores, and actually the revenue have been more than that, 1.2 or something. And then after the budget, do you see GST realization going up? And what about states? Do you think states would be happy with what has happened? Are they going to get any?
Yeah, okay. I'll just straight away, talk about states. It is going to happen probably, at a later part of today or probably tomorrow morning. Some of the state government, opposition might wake up to this reality. No, the excise duty is being reduced on petrol and diesel. I mean, those are the only thing that typically contributes to excise duty, like around such a substantial amount. Now, the excise duty on petrol and diesel has been reduced. That has been changed to that extent they have imposed this agricultural infrastructure development cess. The moment it becomes a cess, it goes out of the government pool, which in fact
Right.
would later be shared with the state government. And tomorrow morning we are going to see that share of state government is going to go down, all those hula bula and all. This is bound to happen. Now this is on the excise duty part. Now second, GST increase I think is a reality. In fact, the last conversation that I had with your portal, the 2 months back when there was a spike in GST collections in October, I told I have to wait for October and November one day that I can make a meaningful observation, because those two are to be combined together to make a reasonable comment. Those 2 months went through the roof, and December was once again a pretty good month, and January is again a good month. I see like 4 continuous good months, and that's a pretty good sign. So I see only upward growth, primarily because of 2 reasons. Economic activities are pretty much back in track. But more importantly, if you don't pay GST these days, you can't even do business. Your e-way bill generation is literally stopped, and you're not able to do your business at all. I see like, slightly more stringent regulation or strong enforcement from a weak enforcement state. We're going towards a slightly stronger enforcement state. That plus economic activity, both are contributing to the GST collection. So I think state should be eventually happy.
Okay. You see, I think as you correctly said, the collections, the next 2 months are going to be important, because December could also be good revenues in December, January could also be followed of Diwali season and all that. Maybe, or that possibly, because people are still saying the demand is not fully back. Yeah.
I would like to just add like one point. So the October November period of calendar year. Let's look at calendar year. October and November of 2018, October and November of 2019, the tax rates are same. So that 2 months together, you look at individual months, like things were different. Together it was like 1,95,000, 1.95 lakh crores, 1.97 lakh crores. October, November 20, the number was like almost 14,000, 15,000 crores more. So that's why I tend to think that these are probably, we are in the right track right now. And starting from December, at least starting from November itself, one of the major collection was, apart from economic activities, you don't pay tax, you don't file your returns, you cannot generate e-way. And these guys started sending out notices left, right, center, cancelling registration. And that I think could have been a major, how do I say, not exactly incentive, but motivation for people to somehow arrange the funds and file the returns and pay the taxes. A strong enforcement police state, I think, is the way ahead. At least that's the way I see it. I see like a lot of this, raids happening left, right, center in the month of November and December. Some of our clients were also directly and indirectly affected. So I can say for sure that these guys are not sitting quiet. Those guys are pretty much looking at enforcing all the laws. I think that's a good thing to have.
Okay. So overall, you think it's been a budget which you would like. If I had to quickly go all of you one by one, how much you would rate the budget, because you have put a caveat. As a citizen you like it, but as a professional you won't. But let's look at holistically. How do you rate the budget? On a scale of 10. Sai, how much you would give?
I'll probably, nudge it towards 8.5 and 9. And I only see like, 2 kind of impractical proposals. The quick reading, the faceless income tax tribunal is a joke right off the bat. So except for that, I think most of the other things are pretty much bang on the target. The 1.5 or 2 that I'm trying to reduce is primarily because we are looking at probably sizable inflation 1 year down the line. That's all.
Okay. Sridhar?
I would give it an 8. I guess most of it, what she's done is right. I think implementation is the challenge, but if the last 6 months is any indication, as Sai rightly pointed out, the way the departments are coming after is it's quite awesome. If they continue to do that, I think this, whatever numbers he's given, it is a very much practical, achievable. So it's very good, very good. So 8 is
the whole strategy, as you said, is basically seems to be depending on the debt, raising funds through that route. Basically, that's the strategy. You think that are they putting too much egg into one basket? Is that how does that give you confidence?
I would not say they're putting too much egg into seeds. I think the number is around 12 lakh crore is what they are planning to borrow, and they're planning another 80,000 crores or something.
Next 2 months.
2 months, yes, sir.
Next 2 months, correct? So I would not say it's. I think it's still well spread. See, all the sectors they are focusing on. If you look at, I'm not sure if anything was mentioned on IT. This time, the tech sector has been totally sidelined, if I should use that word. But then that's not been mentioned at all. Whereas last 3-4 years, where most of us we felt that manufacturing, infra, agriculture needs that impetus, I think that's been given. I still think it's been a well balanced, well thought out budget.
Okay, Senthil, quickly.
I would rate 9 out of 10, and if they implement all the things what they have said, it will be 10 out of 10.
Oh, great. So basically the question mark is still on implementation. Finally, all these things come finally to how well it is implemented. Thank you very much for a quick reaction on the budget. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you.